The tragic death of 6-year-old Corey Micciolo has gripped the nation, revealing a harrowing story of abuse, systemic failures, and a relentless pursuit of justice. Corey, a lively and inquisitive child, died under brutal circumstances at the hands of his father, Christopher Gregor. This case has not only highlighted the severe abuse Corey endured, but also exposed significant lapses in the child protection system, which failed to act despite numerous warnings. As the investigation and trial unfolded, they revealed shocking details and raised urgent questions about the effectiveness of child welfare services. This story explores Corey's life, the tragic incident, and the ensuing legal battles that have sparked widespread outrage and calls for reform. But first, subscribe to our channel for more content, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Corey Travis Micciolo was born in New Brunswick and spent his short life in the Monroe Township, Englishtown area. He was a vibrant child who loved playing football, enjoyed video games like Roblox, and had a keen interest in space and the solar system. Corey was known for his artistic talents and enjoyed playing with friends at the park and trampoline park. His mother, Brina Micciolo, raised him with love and care, always striving to protect him from harm. The tragic incident that led to Corey Micciolo's death occurred on March 20, 2021, at the Atlantic Heights Clubhouse Fitness Center. Surveillance footage captured the harrowing scene where Christopher Gregor forced his 6-year-old son to run on a treadmill at dangerously high speeds. Despite Corey's repeated falls and visible distress, Gregor continued to increase the treadmill's speed and physically placed his son back on the machine each time he fell. The video also showed Gregor grabbing Corey by the shirt and appearing to bite his head, further demonstrating the abusive nature of the incident. The following day, Corey exhibited severe symptoms, including nausea, disorientation, and difficulty breathing. Despite these alarming signs, it took until April 2, 2021, for Gregor to take Corey to Southern Ocean Medical Center. By then, Corey was in critical condition and suffered seizures during a CT scan, leading to his death shortly after arriving at the hospital. This incident was the culmination of ongoing abuse and neglect, ultimately resulting in the tragic loss of a young life. The investigation into the death of Corey Micciolo began on April 2, 2021, when Stafford Township Police responded to a report of a deceased 6-year-old boy at Hackensack Meridian Health Southern Ocean Medical Center. An autopsy conducted the following day revealed that Corey had died from blunt force trauma, with injuries including cardiac and liver contusions, acute inflammation, and sepsis, which were consistent with chronic child abuse. Investigators quickly focused on Christopher Gregor, Corey's father, who had been present during the incident at the fitness center and had a history of reported abuse. Surveillance footage from the gym showed Gregor forcing Corey to run on a treadmill at high speeds, causing the child to fall multiple times, which corroborated the physical evidence of abuse found during the autopsy. Further investigation uncovered a troubling pattern of abuse. Corey's mother, Brina Micciolo, had reported Gregor for abuse over 100 times to the New Jersey Division of Child Protection and Permanency DCP, but no substantial action had been taken. This history of reported abuse, combined with the surveillance footage and medical findings, strengthened the case against Gregor. The investigation revealed that Gregor had a history of abusive behavior, and the evidence collected was instrumental in securing his conviction for aggravated manslaughter and child endangerment. The tragic case of Corey Micciolo's death brought to light a disturbing history of child abuse reports against his father, Christopher Gregor. Corey's mother, Brina Micciolo, had reported Gregor for abuse over 100 times to the New Jersey Division of Child Protection and Permanency DCP, but no significant action was taken to protect the child. These reports detailed various instances of physical and emotional abuse, yet the system failed to intervene effectively. The lack of response from DCP has been a critical point of contention, leading Brina to sue the agency for its failure to safeguard her son. Despite the numerous reports, Gregor continued to have access to Corey, which ultimately led to the fatal treadmill incident. The surveillance footage from the gym showed Gregor forcing Corey to run at high speeds, causing him to fall multiple times, which was a part of the overall cycle of abuse that led to his death. The prosecution argued that this incident, along with other abusive behaviors, contributed to the severe injuries that Corey sustained. The case has highlighted significant flaws in the child protection system, emphasizing the need for more robust measures to prevent such tragedies in the future. Gregor was initially charged with child neglect in July 2021. However, as the investigation progressed and more evidence came to light, the charges were upgraded to murder in March 2022. Gregor was arrested and held without bond at Ocean County Jail. During the investigation, it was revealed that Corey had told his pediatrician about the treadmill incident. He mentioned that his father made him run on the treadmill because he was too fat. This statement, along with the surveillance footage and medical evidence, played a crucial role in building the case against Gregor. The trial of Christopher Gregor for the death of his 6-year-old son, Corey Micciolo, began on April 30, 2024, and lasted 6 weeks, was a highly emotional and complex case that drew significant public attention. The prosecution's strategy centered on presenting compelling evidence of chronic abuse, including surveillance footage from the gym where the fatal treadmill incident occurred. Assistant Ocean County Prosecutor Christine Lento played the video for the jury, which showed Gregor forcing Corey to run at high speeds, causing him to fall multiple times. The footage also depicted Gregor grabbing Corey by the shirt and appearing to bite his head. Lento argued that the video was a microcosm of the abuse Corey endured, and that Gregor's actions directly led to his son's fatal injuries. The defense, led by attorney Mario Gallucci, argued that Corey did not die from the injuries sustained on the treadmill, but from a rapidly spreading infection. They contended that the prosecution failed to present conclusive evidence linking the treadmill incident to Corey's death. Gallucci also addressed the part of the video where Gregor appeared to bite Corey, claiming there was no physical evidence to support this allegation. Additionally, the defense attempted to undermine the credibility of Brina Micciolo, Corey's mother, by questioning her motives and how she used funds raised from a GoFundMe page. Gregor chose not to testify in his own defense, a decision that drew audible gasps from the courtroom. Brina Micciolo's testimony was a poignant and critical part of the trial. She recounted her numerous attempts to report Gregor's abusive behavior to the New Jersey Division of Child Protection and Permanency DCP, which she claimed were ignored. Brina's emotional testimony highlighted the systemic failures that allowed the abuse to continue unchecked. She described the heartbreak of losing her son and her frustration with the legal system that failed to protect him. Her testimony was instrumental in painting a vivid picture of the abuse Corey suffered and the neglect he faced from authorities. On May 31, 2024, the jury deliberated and ultimately found Christopher Gregor guilty of aggravated manslaughter and endangering the welfare of a child, though he was acquitted of the second-degree murder charge. The verdict reflected the jury's belief that while Gregor's actions were not premeditated, they were reckless and directly led to Corey's death. Gregor was sentenced to 25 years in prison, with 20 years for aggravated manslaughter and an additional 5 years for child endangerment, to be served consecutively, with eligibility for parole after serving 85% of his sentence. Brina Micciolo's pursuit of justice for her son Corey extended beyond the criminal trial of Christopher Gregor and into a civil lawsuit against the New Jersey Division of Child Protection and Permanency DCP. The lawsuit, filed in Ocean County Superior Court, alleges that DCP failed to protect Corey despite numerous reports of abuse and neglect. Brina, represented by attorney Chris Conrad, claims that the agency's inaction and inadequate response to her repeated complaints allowed the abuse to continue, ultimately leading to Corey's tragic death. Conrad emphasized that DCP is supposed to be the last line of defense for children in abusive situations, but in this case, they completely failed in their duty. The lawsuit details a series of alarming incidents reported to DCP, beginning as early as September 2019, when Corey first showed signs of abuse after visiting his father. Despite Brina's persistent efforts, including over 100 calls and multiple complaints, DCP did not take substantial action to protect Corey. The legal complaint names specific DCP employees involved in Corey's case and suggests that more individuals within the agency may also be held accountable as the case progresses. The lawsuit seeks to prove that DCP's conduct was palpably unreasonable and that their failure to act promptly and effectively in response to the abuse reports was shocking to the conscience. The wrongful death portion of the lawsuit seeks to recover damages for the losses suffered by Corey's estate and the people he left behind. Brina and Corey's grandmother, Rebecca, have both suffered devastating losses as a result of Corey's death. The death of Corey Micciolo is a heartbreaking reminder of the devastating impact of child abuse. Despite numerous reports and warnings, the system failed to protect Corey from his abuser. The conviction of Christopher Gregor brings some measure of justice, but it cannot undo the pain and loss suffered by Corey's family. This tragic case underscores the urgent need for better protective measures and more effective responses to allegations of child abuse to prevent such tragedies in the future.